Robert JG603, owner and operator of TSW Wrestling, and it's finally here, the year-end awards, aka the Two Sweeties, and let's get right on into it here today, folks. We got some good stuff to dive into. And good, we did set up this screen already. Look at the Xbox screen, though, a little bit here. So let's blow up the browser source as well. Again, this is the beauty of we're doing it live, pal. Because, you know, unless you got a pair of glasses for ants. All right, so we're gonna go through what my votes would be. I'm gonna suggest some things, write-ins. There are gonna be some people left off the votes, and there were like a category where we did talk about it on air, but it's fine. Year one, baby. Year two will have clips and stuff. I do implore you guys, you see something cool this year in TSW watching live on Twitch, please hit that clip button, please. So at the end of the year, we can really do this thing right. So, first of all, what's your Twitch, Discord, YouTube username? This is just to make sure we don't have fake entries, duplicate entries, all that good stuff. Nothing against you guys. So let's get into it here. Again, we are going to do this as a YouTube video. I'll pop in a chat here and then, but this is really just for the YouTube. If you're seeing it live, good for you. If not, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I look like an idiot. So, match of the year. We got Brandon versus Landmark, Hell in a Cell. We got Ched versus Animal. Of course, that'd be the inaugural heavyweight title match between those two, where Ched won the title after the King of the Ring. We've got the Royal Rumble. And then this one's a fun one. EST Boxy Brandon was towards the end there. That's the one that broke down and kind of like into two matches across the arena, kind of a little production value option. And of course, if you do hit other, you go down here and you write in, you know, JG wins the ladder match. Now to me, I'm between a couple matches, and they're both, I mean, so the Rumble was fantastic, but to me, the Rumble is always going to be good. I'm going Brandon Landmark, Hell in a Cell. That is the Iron Man match. That is the 4-1 comeback. The other one I would consider would be the Last Man Standing 42-minute. He won. But to me, I'm going Hell in a Cell. Now, there are obviously a bunch of matches not listed here. We didn't really think through this as we were going, right? So hear me out. But guys, what I'm voting for is not what you're voting for. It might be. But that's why we have vote-in or write-ins for every single category. So for me, I'm going to go as match of the year. I just think it was a lot going into that, the build up to the match itself, the comeback where we were all like, this match is over, then boom, 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 came back, incredible stuff. But I mean, this one of those things where almost everything you vote for, y'all could be right. I truly think you all could be right. Now we got feud of the year. Again, we're only using the writings if you hit the other. Don't write in just for random shit. And please take this somewhat seriously. I'm looking at you, Tony. Feud of the year. We got Dargon versus Boxy, Raw versus DJ, Dargon versus Brandon, Brandon versus Landmark. As always, other write-ins are available. AJ versus Boxy, very short feud, but that was heated at the end of the year. For me, if you're gonna have the match of the year, I think you probably had the feud of the year. Again, y'all do your own thing. I think there are a lot of really good options too. You could even pick some of the faction warfare that went on. I think Prod versus Joker, great rivalry. Ron Joker, kind of only blossoming, you know. I think there's a lot of great options here. Again, I mentioned the age, but I think there are a lot of great options. But to me, I just think that this series of matches were electric. I think Raw versus DJ, if we got a little bit more in there, might have been a great pick. And I think Dargon versus anyone's electric. I think Dargon versus Brandon was real close to my vote. Real close. Real close, because that thing got a little bit personal. But I do think, again, write-in city, baby. If there's someone you like as a write-in, put it in there. Write-ins can win in this bracket. It's not, you know, this ain't big country voting. You can easily get some write-ins that I think you guys probably agree on. Now, this is the one that I had the most trouble with. This is the one I struggled the most with. Wrestler of the Year. There is so much to think about. Title reigns, big matches, pay-per-view matches, title defenses, promo. I think promo is one that, if you include the promos on Wrestler of the Year, it starts to skew a little bit. I think if you are watching only on YouTube, hear me out. If you're not following these guys on social media, not seeing them in chats, to me, Ched's Wrestler of the Year. BMI champ, heavyweight champ, electric promos, gets the people talking. When Ched's involved, he's everyone's locked in. He was the King Ham. He's got the Ched Protection Service. But, you know, if you think, well, if you're in chats, if you're on Twitter, Raw might not have the video promo, but he's got the fucking text promo. I tell you what. And then you're looking at Boxy. We're looking at Prodigy is what we're looking at. Let's get weird. Yeah, YouTube. What is this? Alerts? You can sub to JG? Check me out on Twitch. I don't have the McFoley clip here. I don't have it. We got Prodigy, 59 months in the goddamn house. Let me sell too. Sweet. I appreciate you, Prodigy. And I think Boxy's got a great argument as well, because you talk about the promos. Great promo work to me. Only a couple, but I thought they were both fantastic. Longest hardcore champion with 3 reigns. Longest universal champion as well. And speaking of Prod, fittingly enough, we've got Joker. Joker as well as the tag teams coming back to back. You talk about write-ins for feud of the year, folks. And we might have just had the most casual, right? The most casual promotion for one of those feuds of the year as a write-in, folks. I don't know if that's where I'm going, but I think there's a great argument to be made. When you go back to the steel cage match, the tag team, where they've gone since then has been fascinating. But we got Joker coming in for 59 months, and we got a golden Kappa train, guys. I don't know what that means, but I will slam a White Claw if that'll benefit the situation. Back into the bracket here, guys. I don't know. I couldn't tell the last time I've seen a golden train, maybe. You know what else is gold? The 2 Sweetie Awards here. So I'm really torn on Wrestler of the Year, and I think Animal's really compelling considering multiple division champion, always, you know, at the top of the card, always fascinating, and another guy who's great promo and other streams. LBJ says, let's get that hype train pushing. Roland Swanee with the stream streak as well, but LBJ with 100 days too sweet. LB, former hardcore champion, former cruiserweight champion, longest single reign. Next category is Cruiserweight of the Year. Foreshadowing by accident there, LB. So I'm super torn on Wrestler of the Year. To me, though, I think it's got to be the complete package, and it's tough. For me, it's tough. I think if you only did what they did in the video game, they're in-game wrestler, it's got to be Boxy. I think it's got to be Boxy. But when you just add the fold of Ched with like a half a dozen promos, which, you know, he had some great lines, spreading his seed, all this, phenomenal. Of course, BMI champ, heavyweight champ, the king. But I will tell you, if we get a couple Jumbotron Raw promos, I think that could have been the difference maker this year. I'll be honest with you. I think I'm gonna lean Ched. But I think all 4 of these are fascinating. I think write-ins, by the way, Landmark's a shoe-in for a write-in. Most of these categories only have 4. I think Landmark's a shoe-in for Wrestler of the Year as a write-in. To be honest, I think I'd probably have him over there, Animal. To be honest, I think I'd put Landmark on the bracket over Animal. On the ballot, I should say. No offense, Animal. Of course, Landmark, tag champ, first ever champ, Mr. Money in the Bank, main event at WrestleMania. Dude did it all. But then Raw, heavyweight at the very end, at the buzzer beater. Rumble win. I mean, this category is fascinating. And by the way, I wouldn't hate if you did this either. I don't think I would disagree with that for a second. I don't think I would disagree if you decided to write in for Steph. I would not hate that. Let's move on, though, because again, these categories will start a fight. We got Cruiserweight of the Year. This one's really tricky. We have Swanee, inaugural champ, 2-time champ. I know, it feels like a lifetime ago. We've got Mr. Benjamin, also one of the first Cruiserweight champions. But I think it's a 2-horse race. You know what? I was in the Discord when me and Dargan went over this. How in the world? I love Mimi. We love Meme. How did we have Meme on there instead of Khan? 2-time Cruiserweight champion? I don't know what we did there. Guys. We slipped. That's why we should have done this as a village. We should have done this live. We should have just did this all live. So, I'll be honest. I think Khan is right and fascinating, but to me, I think it's between LBJ and Clap. LBJ, 1 title reign, 57 days. Clap, 2 title reigns, 59 days. No fault to either man, but I talk about the full package for Wrestler of the Year. We talk about full package, and to me, I think Clap's got a little bit more of a package than LB. I know. Clap's promos combined with his wrestling, combined with the gimmick. That's tough. That stuff. Yeah, exactly. That's why you verified all this with me, so no one can blame Dark except for spelling. You can yell at someone's wrong. I think Khan's got a good shot to be right in, but when you bring up he was also formerly a Big Daddy, oh yeah, that's a fair complaint. That's a fair complaint. And really his double title reign was a hot potato. But to me, again, I'm going full package. I think if you consider all around when you add the promo, no, again, no fault to LBs, but I got to take that full package. But again, LB had that one run that was electric. I mean, he won he started a ladder match against Deekster on the TNA Worlds Collide show, and he just ran through. We'll actually be talking about LB's Cruiserweight title reign a little bit later when we talk about entrance of the year as well. Yeah, bro shrunk like a foot too. Exactly. It was definitely storyline based. That's why him winning something here, I don't super love. So you know what? Leave him off the bracket. That's fair. That's fair. But to be clear, many people also definitely changed. The thing with the Khan gimmick, real quick to touch on, not everyone knew the backstory, and that's why I got rid of the character. The backstory was he was on site doing his construction, and he got an air pump hooked up to his jumper, and it inflated him to make him look giant. So I made that wrestler as kind of a joke in the early days. And it didn't age well because it became a glaring issue in the backstory of him as a wrestler. Is what it is. BMI of the year. Another one that I think is debatable, to say the least. Absolutely debatable. They've all done a lot this year, but I think similar to the Cruiserweight. Originally we had Boxing the Cruiserweight of the year, but we removed him because we're like, he didn't really wrestle in the Cruiserweight division. He was a Cruiserweight, but he didn't wrestle in the Cruiserweight division, which is why when we talk about BMI of the year, I'm going to focus on people who were in the BMI division. See where I'm going here? I think Ched's best work was as heavyweight champion. I think most would agree is that. I think Dargan just won the BMI titles, getting hot towards the end, but I think his best work was before that as well, you know, when we're talking in ring, you know, a long reign, but storyline wise, you know, the last month was dicey because most of the champions just sat with the belt. So that leaves me on Landmark and Brandon. I know, Jay, you really liked that feud. I really liked that feud, and that's why it's my bracket, not yours. I'm between Landmark and Brandon on my vote here. I think they're both compelling for a couple reasons. I think you could vote, in my mindset here, you could go Brandon over Landmark because Brandon did leave that feud as the champion, as the winner. But Landmark is a two-time BMI champion as well, which makes things a little dicey. Let me see if I can, let me bring up my sticky notes real quick and see if I still have my championship title info. Yeah, Brandon 59 days in one reign, Landmark 2 reigns for 52. That is close enough. I wasn't sure how long Landmark had the title. I'm gonna lean Landmark there. He didn't technically win the feud with Brandon, but if we have to go tiebreaker, he won Money in the Bank and then was heavyweight champion. So we'll take that. Now, when you're going the full package again, Chet and Dargan would stand out. But I'm really leaning what you did with the BMI title. But you can view this differently. In which case, maybe Ched's your pick, you know? Maybe in Cruiserweight of the Year, maybe you do write in Boxy. Boxy is a Cruiserweight. He is a Cruiserweight. All right, Tag Team of the Year. Let's fight some people. This one's tough. This one has to be the toughest. By the way, guys, the link will be available after the video ends because I don't want you guys getting too ahead of where we are. So Tag Team of the Year is weird because obviously only one of these teams still exists, right? So that instantly makes this dicey. I think we look at Chico and Chris Swain, the bad guys. They were 2-time tag champs. They did get one of those belt reigns, though, from the vacated Raw and DJ. So much respect to the bad guys. Had to get them on the ballot here. The Disciples, longest reigning tag champions. And Raw is the longest reigning overall tag champion. Right? Right? That's a good one. And then you know, if you also want to splice Raw and Joker into the Disciples, the Apocalypse feud, which you got to think we're going to touch on. The Disciples had a really good run. You know, when you go from War Game, the sneak attack to JG, months of build, War Games, title reign for 2 months. I'm torn on Ron Joker. I think Finn and Landmark, they're still tag champs. I think that is over any argument. They are still a tag team. They are still tag champions. That is their best argument. I think DJ and Swanee, if they win at Mania, they're definitely tag team of the year, but they lost and Swanee kicked DJ square in the dick. So I don't think I can pick the cockadoodle dudes here. I'm between the Founding Fathers and the Disciples. I think I laid out really good arguments for both. I think there's good arguments for all four here. It's almost like a coin toss. I think, though, if we're talking purely tag team of the year, it does skew my mindset knowing what happened with Ron Joker. I just think they were that good. And especially when you fold that in to the TSW Apocalypse thing, I think they were together longer too. But I think I'm fighting on this one. This one, if I wasn't doing this live, there's no way I would be able to vote for this. I'd be back and forth. I would write in both. Somehow both. So I think they won as a team. They fought a bit, but they did win. And that's where I think Finn and Landmark have their argument. They are, out of all these, the only team to have always, they've never had an issue. They've never, in singles, they've never complained about each other. So I think for that, I think Founding Fathers has a really good argument because of the love behind it. But man, the Disciples are really fucking dominant. And that's my thing. Plus, they beat me up. I don't want them to beat me up again. But again, this is my vote, guys. I expect 20, 30 votes on this, hopefully. I'm shooting for 25. We average, we should be able to get that. All right, promo of the year. This is where things get really tough. Promos of the year, the Golden Mic Award. Write-ins could win here, but here's what we have down for promo of the year. Dargan and his car promo. We've got Shed and the seductive stroking. We got Big Time in his neck brace, but I'll also... The Star Right Here promo is really good too. JG kidnapped, which is just the entirety of me being murdered, that whole saga. And then Clap, he's the Jesus of TSW. These were all great. I'm super biased, so I would totally vote for myself, but I won't do that. I think Shed and Clap have both had phenomenal promos. See, we do have, we might have a double winner here. Because I was gonna say, we have them elsewhere. I could absolutely give this award to myself, to be clear. Because I put in some fucking work for those promos, but I won't do it. I think if we're between Shed and Clap, two distinctly different promo styles, yet somehow somewhat similar. This one's tough. Because I think Shed does say a lot, but it's also a lot, quality or content, or, what are we talking about? Quantity or quality, that's what we're going for. I feel like Shed has, I don't know. I think this is an interesting category. I think just off the sheer creativity, though, of Clap, coming up with this Wall Street persona, the telephone, him in the bathtub with, hey, yeah, Mr. J. I think Clap always brings something very unique. He always brings something very unique and clever to the table. I'm gonna edge that out slightly, but to be clear, if I wasn't live, if I wasn't doing a video of this, so you didn't know who voted, I'm 100% voting for myself because I know how much work I put in that shit, and I was like, oh, it was fucking fun too. You know what I'm saying? But here's some fun categories. Dicey categories, you know what I'm saying? We got pay-per-view of the, and by the way, the tag team thing, I see a little bit of discourse in the chat, which is why this is going to make it really fun when we count the tabulations on this thing. just because the Rockers broke up doesn't mean they weren't great, right? You know, there are levels. It's gonna be fun. You guys campaign for yourselves in chat right now. This one is my toughest of the year, is pay-per-view of the year. I love everything I do, and I think everything I did genuinely was great. We gave you some suggestions. Obviously, you know what 603 Mania and Royal Rumble are. Season's Beatings was the Money in the Bank match. Backlash was our first pay-per-view. No Mercy was the one main evented by Brandon versus Landmark. I have cleaned up a lot of this voting on Brandon versus Landmark. It's not happening this time. I thought No Mercy was a phenomenal show. Phenomenal show. I think some of these other shows were better. Truly. Like, I think if you dissect some of these shows and put them together, you got a perfect show. I just think Money in the Bank was a blast. The Rumble was so much fun, but it was a culmination of a year. It was 6 hours where I don't think there was a single bad match. Some funky finishes. Cough, cough. Where's my title? Where's my belt? I don't have my belt on the shoulder for the voting of the year. No wonder I'm not a cruiserweight of the year, guys. But I think it's 603 Mania. I think all these are great shows, and there are other shows not listed. You could also pay per view if you really fought for a regular TV. You could do that too, but I just think 603 Mania was just that good. That good. Landmark says he main evented 4 of those. Claps unique, 2 lots in 1 night. Claps were indeed clapped twice. If we had best character, I think Claps got a shot. All right, guys, this one's a tough one too. Now, my answer is straight, but I'll give you arguments here. Most improved. Who on day 1 of TSW compared to day 200 improved the most? I think it's between 2 to me, but I'll give an argument for all of them from the top down. Actually, let me go into arguments of what I think are the best and worst arguments. So Dargan arguably did start the year as Universal Champion, lost it immediately, mind you. And from there to the Dargantics Rumble, definitely good improvement. And the Rumble to losing the title was a solid run, really solid. And then he built up to the BMI, but I do say it's tough to give most improved when there was so much Dargantics involved. I know a lot of the Dargantics, of course, is booked, which is why I think Tony also has a very similar argument. Now, Tony doesn't have all the titles, but Tony has a very clear, I feel like for the first 3-4 months, it just did really just nothing but lose. Then lost to Jobbers, debuted the Tony title, and now he is the hardcore champion. That is a great improval right there. And I think both have a shout. Brandon didn't finish too strong, but there's a steady, starts a tag team in the Ballers with Dargan. And I think a lot of people wrote him off a little bit. I do think people wrote him off. When he beat Rowdy for the number contendership for Landmark, I think people were just like, all right, Landmark's got some fodder. What's a Brandon? What is a Brandon? And next thing you know, those guys go on the feud of the year, right? That's up there. But to me, what Shrades has done, that's impressive. He has been a jobber in B-Cot wrestling for 3 years. And I'm absolutely going to count that here. If you've seen Swain pay-per-views, baby, he gets squashed by Honor the Giant every show. Every single show, he's beaten down, bludgeoned to embarrassment. And he started that way in TSW too. Losing against legend after 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 legend. And when he finally snapped and turned on Rowdy and Emma, and then went on that run, I thought that was great TV. I think this category, by the way, we definitely spell improved wrong. Don't judge us. Don't judge us here. I think all 4 of those are great shouts, but I'm gonna lean Shrades only because he has 3 years of jobbing in his background and a happy birthday 5+ years of community trolling that he fought back against here. So we're gonna give a little bit extra love here. Now this one's really weird. I'll admit that. Most hyped match of the year. I would say a good right away, by the way, would be the Rumble. If you do want to just go for the simple answer of the Rumble, I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Let's go down through these. Darden versus Brandon, 200K channel points in bets. I would believe that was 6 with Romania. The chat was just locked in. The hype was good when you talk about the Pat, Matators, McAfee turn, this whole thing. We got Brandon versus Landmark. What can you say about that match that hasn't already been said without me just being a complete broken record? I thought it was a phenomenal feud, phenomenal matches to me. That had the most natural build. The most unnatural build, undoubtedly, is TSW versus the Apocalypse leading to War Games. Now, real quick, Boxing AJ had the best single back and forth promo we've ever seen, in my opinion. Little heated, a little bit. Was that real? But this is where JG's going to pat himself on the back a bit. To me, the amount of build we did from TSW versus Apocalypse into that War Games match, that was like a 2+ month build. Both in-game and IRL, the fog machine, the swamp, the question of who is the Apocalypse. Everyone wanted to know, who are these people? Who are they? I think that, to me, was the best build to a match, best hype of a match. I can't put that as a feud necessarily, but to me, I just think that had a lot of intrigue. But again, if you want to write in the Rumble, brother, I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy that immediately. This one could get toxic. This one could get toxic. Title of the year. By the way, we didn't put down every title. You can write in the tag team and the trios. Actually, those the only ones we didn't write in. Yeah, it's okay. That's fine. Title of the year. This one to me is the toughest because I think they all did a lot. By the way, we all know the true answer is the Tony title. Just to be clear, that's the answer. That's the right answer. I kid. So I get this question a lot. What is the best title? It's the heavyweight one. But I will say, just because it's the highest ranked, doesn't mean it is per se the best title. We're actually almost done with this pre-roll. This went longer than I thought, but it's a good long form video for our weekly upload here. I think these all have a lot of argument. I think, so first of all, the heavyweight's obvious. It's the heavyweight title. Easy argument there. The BMI, I feel like, when I look back at some of the biggest matches, again, it's like the feud of the year. The feud of the year to me, the matches with Brandon Landmark, I think the BMI has a high ranking because of that, right? So I think the BMI was big. But when you talk about the European title, talk about the workhorse. The design of that title is to be defended every single week. Yet somehow some guys held that title for like 2 months. And it just shows that that title was electric, right? I think the cruiserweight, while contained between a couple guys, some of the BMI had some great matchups, some of the best matchups we've seen, some of the best stories we've seen. I think the women's title, well, hopped in a bit. You look at Steph, which, by the way, female wrestler of the year. I'm just gonna say, I'll come back to that in a second. But I mean, come on, guys. Was it 5 times? Was it a 5-time women's champ? 112 days. Anyway, I think the Universal Championship, especially as of late, has gotten really hot. But I'm between BMI, the heavy, and the hardcore. And I just think of, I'm trying to think of just like the biggest matches I can think of. I feel like you would think it's going to be the heavyweight, but I gotta say, I'm torn. I think I'm between the hardcore and the BMI. Again, you all vote on your own as we go, but I think we might show some love to the hardcore title here. I think we do. It's defended every show, and it's been some of the best matches, some of the best stories. I think Harold's run, Boxy's run, the Boxy Rumble were dark. I mean, I think there were a lot of good moments there. But I think you could really argue all of those, except for the Tony title, obviously. I mean, if you want to vote that, you do, you boo. I don't know if that's title of the year. Maybe best gimmick of the year, maybe. We didn't have gimmick of the year. That'd make it too. All right, female wrestler. I can't disrespect any of these other people. We've had some great names on here. Bam and Miss Hudat, both two-time tag champs and former women's heavyweight champion. Miss Hudat, the first ever champ in TSW. Of course, before Landmark did it, Miss Hudat did it first. Huggies, two-time women's champion, only person to beat Steph twice, but Steph's the best. Five-time women's champion, 112 something days. I can't spend much time on it. It's Steph. If you want to vote around, if you want to write in Miss JG or Jen or Miss Chico or anyone else, Chelsea Green, go for it. But that's got to be a landslide. The what the fuck moment of the year. Now, this is not a good what the fuck. This is a bad what the fuck. We were going to do like the holy shit, like genuine cool moments, but those were a little dicey. We like the what the fuck moment. JG got kidnapped, straightforward. Dargon's triple entry to the Rumble. Clap stews his way back into 603 Mania. So of course, Clap pulling double duty, Dargon's triple Rumble, or JG's getting kidnapped. It's Dargon's triple entry. I would love to make an argument for any of these others, and there's some other good write-ins too. Like if you wanted to go Swanee flying in a trash can, we could probably take that. I don't know if we added OMG moment of the year, but I'll be honest. I feel like a lot of the OMG moments were super manufactured, and I don't love to do those, right? But I would say an honorable mention to a young power bombing a man through the barricade. Manager of the year. I like the two longest longest reigning champions manage. I like Dargon sneaking some extra in there. I like this though. Sometimes invisible. Trio likes Shed's Golden Corral. Abrek, Bucks right hand man. I think this one's gonna be closer next year. I think it's Abrek, very short reign. He's only been Universal Manager kind of. I think one of these three are definitely good shouts. I like that Dargon really fought for himself here. So to me, I don't think Trio's been involved for Chet as long. So to me, it's between Chet, Dargon, and Sir. Because I mean, Trio has been around, but to be fair, Trio is either not at ringside or injured or just not a part of Chet's biggest moments, in my opinion. So I'm between Sir and Dargon. At the end of the day, I would unfortunately say, no offense, no fault of Sir, but big time every title reign was like between a week and 10 minutes. It's got to be Dargon, but next year we'll have more managers, so we'll have some real good arguments for other people next year. I think we got entrance of the year. My sweet Dargon, sweet Dargon. Yeah, so we did forget the OMG moment. That's okay though. Entrance of the year, the final category here. Final category. Dargon is a wrestler, but he is also one of the best managers. So big time, there's your good argument. These three are truly just, I mean, Sir and Trio have wrestled in like Rumbles. But big time, you've held titles for like 2 weeks and you've held 3 titles. So that is off. Entrance of the year. This one's gonna be interesting. I have my pick right away. We got Miss Hudat, the Saints come marching. Of course, we're talking Halloween Havoc. You know, the Saints come in the U2 version, the pyro going off. I thought that was a sick entrance. We have LBJ in London. That's the first time he had the lifted stage and all the pyro. Landmark's car, when he drove out, Finn was kind of his champion driving to the ring. And then Darth AJ at 603 Mania, of course. Feel free to write in whatever you want. To me, it's tough to remember a lot of this shit, guys, you know, but I thought this was one of the coolest things we've done. A good write-in, Dargon's sword entrance, solid. Brandon's entrance for the No Mercy match with the champ is here. Good bit. Don't hate that either, but to me, it's got to be Darth AJ. I thought that was a sick fucking entrance. Deserves every title. Lost. He was not to be my not entirely wrong. Enter Ants. Kind of Mickey. Raw's entrance, just regular everyday entrance. Raw does have a good regular entrance. That is definitely true. And that's where we struggled a bit with some of this too. But Two Sweeties, your response has been recorded. That's that, baby. That's that. All right, well, if you guys are watching over on YouTube, dude, I totally forgot we're recording this. My God. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, notification activated. We will get you the link. Now, because YouTube doesn't like me, I'm not YouTube partner, I sometimes can't post links. If you need the link, it will be in my Discord. If you need the Discord, check me out live, JG603 on Twitch. Do we add Mick Foley just to tell people? I think we do. Hey, Mick, where are we? Where can you find me? Media source? Mick, let me know.
Stream on Twitch is JG603.
That's the one. As always, guys, have some fun. The two sweeties are done. But when does TSW return? That is the question on everybody's mind. Well, I don't know. I am between the 27th and the 4th. Only thing, got most of the rest of the time, got movesets, entrances. We'll let you guys know when we are there for sure, but we can confirm the first show will not be a regular 9-match card. The first show will be a pay-per-view level event. We are coming back into 2K25 with a bang. Every title change from 603 Mania rematch will be occurring, including Raw Dog versus Landmark, Boxy versus AJ, and so many more. We'll have open challenges, maybe some surprises. But until then, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, notification, activate all that good stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Woo! Appreciate you. Bye.